Lo sachmod, do not covet. When we spoke about the principle and core value, guiding principle, so we spoke about the fact that not coveting means not wanting something that belongs to another person. And the reason behind that, underlying understanding, was embracing the unique mission of life for yourself and for others, seeing everyone as everyone has their lot, everyone has their personality, everyone has a unique mission in life, and we should respect that within ourselves, acknowledge that within ourselves, and we should respect other people accordingly. So to see other people as individuals who they have, everyone has their pekalach, everyone has their blessings, everyone has their opportunities. And we spoke a lot at the time about Ezu Asher Samech B'Chelko, who is wealthy, the person who is happy with his lot. Halakim. And we spoke about that, and of course it's very close to, if not the same thing as the Mida. The Mida, remember, Mida means that which where do we find this within ourselves? Where are we aligned, internally aligned with lo sachmod, with not coveting? And it's really b'samech b'chelko. It's finding joy, simcha, happiness in our own chelek, our portion of life, our lot in life, our mission in life, our individuality, our personality. The Mida, the character trait over here is simcha, happiness. And I actually entitled this shir as how do you live in order to be happy most of the time? How many people do we know that are really happy most of the time? Not very many, unfortunately. Not very many. Most people kind of just get on with life. Actually, a lot of people are quite miserable with life. There are few people that are really in a mood, a happy mood most of the time. Now, when we think about a Mida, when we think about a character trait, we've got to be careful. We're not talking about the emotion. All right, the emotion is associated with the character trait, but the character trait goes deeper than the emotion. This is something I heard directly from Rav Wolbe Zatzal, that Midot hem haber yoter mi'hagashot. Midas, these character traits are far deeper than just emotional feelings, even though I understand emotional feelings are real. What are we looking for when we speak about a Baal Simcha, someone that's happy, someone that's really lives with being happy most of the time? It's about one's attitude, it's about one's mindset, it's about finding the element of personality which is happy. Right? I think all of us, please hopefully, have had happy times in our lives, have gone through happy periods, at least happy moments. And if we just take a step back and think, well, what was my mindset then? What was my frame of mind? What was my attitude? What was my disposition? How did I, what did it mean to be happy? So I think the first thing is to think about the ingredients. Now, to me, it's obvious that the first part about being happy is being grateful. You can't really be that happy if you're entitled to everything, because your expectations are then that everything is coming to me, and there's no real reason to rejoice. There's no real reason to feel the happiness of life. To feel the simcha means to live with the feel, to live with the feeling of gratitude, to live with the attitude that of being privileged, right? That it's a privilege to be alive. It's a privilege to just be. Well, I'm not owed anything. No one owes me anything, and life itself is full of blessing. Life itself is full of. So that's something that it's a disposition. It's a character trait. It's something that we can grow in. We can work on maintaining that attitude of, waking up in the morning and thinking, nothing's owed to me today. Everything that's coming my way is a blessing. So that's to me the first element of Simcha is gratitude, and that we actually spoke a lot about that when we spoke about the core value of Lo Sachmod as a value to life. It's absurd to me. Two things are absurd to me. It's absurd to me that people say blessings over food and enjoyment because they're obligated to say it. Right?
Sorry.
People say blessings, brachas, over food and enjoyment of life, pleasures of life, because they are, every time I eat, I say a bracha, right? Shakol nebi, I might see this, that, always saying brachas. It's absurd that people do it because they feel obligated to do it. The whole point of it is to be grateful, to recognize that, God has gifted me this food. God has gifted me this pleasure, this smell, this sight, right? The things that the world that we live in. I'm privileged to be alive. It's equally absurd to me that people that don't think of themselves as obligated or have not accepted an obligation also don't say brachas, right? Don't say blessings. Where's our sense of true gratitude that we've been gifted so much of life, right? We've been gifted life and the fullness of it. So that's the first thing, which is very much part of being a happy person, is truly being grateful, is knowing that nothing is owed to us, and living with a sense of excitement, a sense of privilege, a sense of being gifted. So that's what I would call the first element. The second element is spiritual goals. The Mishnah in Pirkei Avot, in Ethics of the Fathers, tells us that there are three things which take a person out of their world. There is taiva, kina, and kavod, which means, that's Hebrew, it means lust, physical pleasure, desire for physical pleasure. Kina means jealousy. I think it means the will to power, to be better than others, to beat others. And kavod means to gain honor in the eyes of others. Someone who lives, and those are very natural drives, and we all have them, but someone that tries to fulfill them, someone that doesn't temper them, someone that lives with those, it will find it very hard to be happy, because they are temporal. They are dependent on other people. They are, right? Physical pleasure might not be that dependent on others, although often it is. The problem with physical pleasure is it's temporal. It's, as much as it fulfills you for the moment, it creates a void afterwards. And what we're looking for, our neshama, is really our souls are looking for true simcha. True, we want the true joy of life, which is eternal. So kina is, what's wrong with powering over others, and I don't understand what the simcha is there. Maybe I could from maybe in sports winning, that sense of mastery or whatever, but it's not so meaningful. So what? That I'm better than another person. The only true question to ask is, am I better than I was yesterday? Right? You don't have to. I don't know who you beating, right? You're beating the guy next door. So what? The problem with honor in other people's eyes is that it's not true honor. It's not true honor. What is the true honor? So the true honor is spiritual goals. The true honor of life is having the ability to bring honor to God. And that means doing our part in making this world a better place. Right? And that we can always do. Right? The other three we can't always do, but if your life's goal, if your life's mission is, given my personality, given my situation, how do I make the best out of it? How do I bring the most meaningful, how can I acknowledge God through the way I live? How can I behave like God through the way I live? How can I do something for a godly purpose? If we'd think like that, we'd be so privileged that every moment of the day, every living moment of our waking moment, in fact, every moment of our life, even sleeping, we can do something that brings God's honor to this world. And God's honor means taking what He's given us, the Torah, taking these values, and living with them in a world where we acknowledge Him and we complete the complete creation by being the people that He wants us to be, to uplifting ourselves, to elevating ourselves, and to making a positive impact in this world. So, somewhere there's a beautiful story. Maybe I could have started with this. That the Brisker Rav, he was a great rabbi, lived in Brisk, obviously, in somewhere in Belarus, and then moved to Yerushalayim, actually during the war. And he was once in a room with some kids who were jumping up and down on a couch. And normally, little kids jumping up on a couch are very happy, having the time, just laughing and giggling and just loving their experience. And he asked his students, why do you think these kids are so happy? And each one gave their answer, and he said, no, I'll tell you why. Because the natural state of life is one of simcha. The natural state of being alive is one of joy, right? We are expressions of God. We have existence, we have consciousness, we have free choice. Of course, the natural state is to be besimcha, is to be joyous. So Rav Shalom Schwartz told me a beautiful idea. He said, you can't find something you never lost. If you never lost it, you can't go to find it. It's with you. You won't find it. It's with you. I don't know if you've ever had the experience, if you wear glasses or your phone's in your pocket or something, or your keys are in your pocket or even in your hand, and you go to find them. You don't realize that you have them. And then, you feel so silly I had it all the time. What was I doing seeking? So a lot of our life, we we land up seeking things. We land up looking for things that we never lost, that we don't miss, things that we have. So, so much of the culture of, and it's definitely a
single picture of the table with my, it's impossible, with Raymond and Yvonne and
sorry, where are we? So you can't find something that you haven't lost. And so much of our capitalistic society, because it revolves around sales, it revolves around the economy. So much of our society is this message that you need more, right? So much of the marketing of this world is trying to tell us that we can do better. We can get a better TV, we can get a better car, we can get better clothes. There's food out there that to die for, and we never are told, you actually have, how much do you already have? How much blessing do you already have? How much in your life do you already have? And to take just a moment, and to just breathe. Maybe Shabbat is a time to do this as well. To just breathe and be, and get in touch with being, get in touch with just having the experience of life. I think so. Someone that has spiritual goals has an element of inquisitiveness, an element of surprise, an element of just acknowledging the beauty and the brilliance of life. It's when you stop and just see what is and who we are, that we can start to appreciate. When did we appreciate the fact that I can move my fingers? I've got these 10 fingers that move, and we can do fine motor skills, and we can do gross motor skills, and we can, there's so much we can do just with the gift of our. Okay, so those are some of the ingredients, I think, with Simcha. Yeah.
Can I just say, like I don't say the blessings yet, but if I do start, well, that brings honor to God.
Of course, that brings honor to God, because you're acknowledging that's part of what that's part of what a blessing is. Acknowledging that these gifts, these blessings came from God. So for sure, that's what He wants.
All right.
Okay, so now the question is like this. We're talking here about being, how much we have to be grateful for. It's true that. So actually, a very wealthy man once told me, the average person today has so much more than royalty had 200 years ago. Royalty didn't have electricity and heating and hot water and indoor plumbing and the food and the medical services and the educational opportunities, and never mind the ability to the access to information that we have now, and so how much when do we stop? When do we stop to consider how much we truly have? Why aren't there so many happy people? So I think, just the people aren't living in a way that will make them happy. They're not living with a grateful mindset, and they don't necessarily have spiritual goals. If people did live with those, they would be much happier. There are a few things I think that do interrupt our simcha in a very natural way, a very obvious way, and we need to deal with them. One is external, one's internal. Externally, people can suffer pain and bullying, insult, abuse from a lot of people outside, right? Parents, teachers, governments, bullies. We are affected by other people. We're affected by other people. We could be affected by natural phenomena, right? It could be very frustrating. I personally really enjoy the shutdown and the ability to be more isolated. Many people might suffer terribly through that. Imagine a person an older person who has to live alone and doesn't enjoy being by themselves all the time. That could be extremely painful. That could be very hard. And so how can we be happy through through situations like that, right? This thing might have caused economic distress, right? You might have lost your job. You might be, frustrated, or how can you be happy? Unemployed. So it's, I think we need to be careful with our expectations. That's a natural thing that is to deal with. Does that take away everything? I think perspective is key. To look at the bigger picture, right? To look at the bigger picture and say, listen, I'm still here. Other people have gone through similar things. I'm healthy. Look at the blessings we do have. The Vilna Gaon, he says a remarkable thing about Lo Sachmod, about Lord, do not covet. The Vilna Gaon says that not coveting means that a person has betachin. Not coveting meaning a person has real trust in God. We started off with the Ten Commandments and the Midot, or with I am the Lord your God. It took you out of Egypt, and God is as a paradigm of chesed, of loving kindness. God is good. Right? We live in God's world. God is good. Everything He does, we say in our prayers, Kel Elyoin Gomel Chosadim Tovim. God is Almighty, and He does good. He is constantly, everything God does is constantly doing something good. So if a person has challenges in their life, if a person, for whatever, sometimes externally inflicted pain and suffering, one needs to, in order to maintain a sense of simcha, a sense that life is good, right? Remember when in the creation story, when God's making the world, He makes it in a way that He says ki tov, and God saw it was good. And when He made man, He said tov ma'od, it's very good. It was very good. I think simcha is the experience of tov. Simcha, joy, is when we experience the tov of the world. We experience that which is good. Sadness or depression or the negative emotions, which are opposite to simcha, is when we experience the ra of the world, when we experience that which is evil in the world. So, betachin, trusting God, means, even though now it might be, even though now I'm experiencing pain and suffering, but either it's for a good purpose, right now, let's say someone's getting an injection and that's very painful, but it's curing you. Or there's a positive purpose, there's some good to this, in a way that I don't understand. And I think that's actually part of the bracha. When we in the first bracha of the Shemona Esrei, we say, Kel Elyon, God is almighty. Elyon means above us. We can't see it. we can't see the chesed always of what's happening in this world, but that's part of our bitachon, our trust in God, because God is faithful. God is faithful that everything He does is for the good. So, if joy, if simcha is the experience of the toiv in the world, to experience a level of simcha, and I think emotionally it can't be the same as when you are fully besimcha, right? If you have pain and suffering at the moment, but there's an element of simcha you can have, an element of joy, that there is good within, right? It's packed within this. There is toiv. Kol man David Rahman al Tavavid. Everything God does is for good. So it's the pain is the feeling of change that you need to work for. Right? Pain is what's the good? That there's something that's good will transpire, is transpiring from this, which is a positive change. It's leading to something better, to good. There's one particular thing which takes away from our simcha, which the more religious a person is, the more they might be affected by it, and that is a person sins. A person disappoints themselves. I think most people, I don't think it's not unique in any way to religious people, but I think religious people are most prone to it because it's so significant. If you sin to God, God told you not to do something and you go ahead and do it, there's a real sense of inner disappointment. So for that, God's given us tshuva. God's given us the ability to repent, to change our ways, to recognize that He didn't make us perfect, that we can improve, we can change our ways and express a more positive, a better part of ourselves. We could grow in that way. So, in summary, I think simcha is Ivdu es Hashem b'simcha. We mean to serve God with joy. We mean it's part of what's required of us. It's the Mida that we need to live with, not to be over on lo tachmod, not to transgress, do not covet. And ultimately, I think the definition of it is as a Mida. If as an emotion it's the experience of something good, Simcha as a Mida, as a character trait, is seeing one's life, living with the mindset and seeing one's life as a gift. It's truly understanding that life is a gift. God is good. He created this world to share of His goodness. We are the ultimate recipients of that goodness. Everything that's happening is towards that purpose. If we could live with that and embrace that, we could live with a lot more simcha. We could live with a truly deep sense of happiness, of being grateful and privileged to live in this world and have the opportunity, recognize the opportunity that we have to fulfill this unique mission that each of us has. Most of us, in terms of that, most of the time we don't make big decisions in our lives. We're making decisions about how best to do what we need to do. Who you marry, where you live, what career you pursue. Those are questions people answer a few times, once, twice, 3 times in their life. The rest of the time, daily life, minute-to-minute life, is, given my situation, what is the best that I can do? And that's your personal mission. It's dealing with your spouse, it's dealing with your kids, it's dealing with your parents, it's dealing with your friends, it's dealing with your community, it's dealing with your career, your job, your lack thereof. It's dealing with your where you live, your, as I said, your community. So it's seeing the opportunity within all of those, how to make the best of that, how to become elevated through that experience, and elevate the situation, make a positive impact. By you being elevated, you will make a positive impact in the world, for the people around you, for the environment, for the honor of God that is in this world. So good. Any questions?
In other words, it's important to say the blessings and follow God's laws and everything.
Definitely, because that is the, it's aligning yourself with reality. And if you can do that, that's toiv, that's good. So the more you attach yourself to goodness, to God, the more goodness that you will experience, for sure.
So, Rabbi, if I haven't had any Jewish learning, education, then you just start slowly, baby steps.
Yep. You can get a book on brachot, on blessings. Barry can tell you which one to get. And you start off by saying your blessings on your, on bread, on drinks, on fruits, on vegetables, and slowly, you learn what they are, and it's actually amazing. People, what happens is people start to say brachot, and they're very meaningful because you know what you're doing, and then it becomes, and you have to fight the rote, that it doesn't become that you're just saying them by rote, but you say them, you pause a little before you think about them, and you say them with meaning throughout your life. Okay, folks, so thank you. This actually is the end of this series. I had a suggestion from Abraham. I don't see him here today, but to do maybe a series on different emotions. This is almost, we spoke about this as an emotion, but we all have feelings. We all have feelings. So maybe we'll choose some emotions. Choose the, whether it be anger, whether it be
sympathy.
Sorry? Whether I can't remember offhand what he wrote, but that sounded to me quite interesting. If you have any other interesting ideas, please.
Whatever. How are you going to carry it on? We're carrying on next Tuesday.
So next Tuesday we're going to take a break. Next Tuesday and Thursday, because we're actually going away.
Oh, okay.
And then we'll start off again. Let's see. So we'll start off again on the. It's going to be August the 4th, right? No.
You're saying
where are we today? The 28th. Oh, so it will be the 11th. It's going to be. We'll start on August the 11th.
The 9th is a Tuesday.
Are you sure?
No, not sure.
I think the 9th is a Sunday.
I've got to, okay. Anyway.
Okay, you'll send us a reminder.
I'll send you a reminder. It's a Tuesday, so next week's a break. This Thursday is Tisha B'Av. Next week's a break, and then we'll start again on the next Tuesday, which I believe is the 11th.
Great. Okay. Keep well.
All right, everyone. Have a meaningful fast Tisha B'Av. Thank you all for listening in. It's been very important for me and beneficial to give this series, and look forward to the next one.
Great.
Thank you so much.